So, in the first class of data analytics, so we'll see what this figure is meant about. You can see one person is standing and he is visualizing a dashboard. This is known as a dashboard because you can see he's seeing something like, you can follow my cursor here. You can see that he's seeing the world map, and based on the world map, there are few locations pointed out. And then he's seeing some bar graphs and some plots are there. So which country has progressed, which country has made a good oil export, which country has a good dollar to currency exchange. Okay, who is standing ahead on the currency factor. Okay, so he is trying to analyze all of those things, and you can see below also, like everyone is trying to analyze graphs. Data visualization is one of the concepts. After you analyze data, you have to visualize the data and get some insights from that data. So that's the idea. Input is the data or the data set, and the output is basically the plots or visualization through which you can make some results, like what this data tells us about, right? Unless that data doesn't make sense. If you gather data but you are not able to process and visualize the data, then it doesn't make sense to have the data. It doesn't matter how much amount of data, terabyte of data you have, unless you make any sense of the data. So therefore, we need to do some analysis on the data. Okay, this is what motivates this course, data analytics. Now, what is the difference between data analysis and analytics? That will come. That I think many of you have in mind. That will come soon. Okay. So, what is the objective of this course? So, the main focus is to introduce some conceptual understanding. Okay, using simple and practical examples. We'll use practical examples, and I'll give you a lot of different examples of like Cadbury or maybe some malls here and there. Why they exist there, and why not anywhere else? Okay. So, sorry, why the location of the mall is in that area? Okay, and why is the apartments also built in that area? Usually you see that whenever you have a mall, in nearby the mall there are apartments, right? Why? What is the need of it? Because they know either of them would have made that move, right? If the apartments are there, the mall would be created, or if malls are created, then apartments will be made, right? Vice versa. Why? Because if as a owner of a mall, what you want? Maximum profit, right? How you will get maximum profit? If many of the people come, and who you can target? You can target people who doesn't have much of the time to go to further places to buy something, right? What after you come from a job from 9 to 5 or 6, you are already tired and you just go to nearby mall and buy something, right? And fulfill the needs of your family, right? So that's the idea. That's the basic idea. So this is a good example of the location and how the malls and the apartments are being made. Okay, where and so they strategically depend on the spatial location. Okay, so that's the plan. So you will know how to work with real data. We'll use some real data set or example data set at least, and it will be up to you how you use these techniques to your data sets. Okay, you can get your data sets from different websites. We will gradually learn about them, like from which websites are you going to get the data sets and what kind of analysis you can do on them. So you will know how to work with real data and learn many different methodologies. You will learn lot of methodologies, okay, like PCA, feature selection, okay, even maybe sampling, binning, those kind of factors, different methodologies. But the key idea is you should know when to use when. Okay, when to use when. If you don't know when to use when, then it is a drawback. Okay, that example you can see in the figure here. So this is a wall, and this gentleman is trying to climb over that wall. But of course, his height is a bit smaller and he cannot climb. He has to use ladder. Now, one ladder is sufficient. One ladder is sufficient, but he has lot of ladders. Okay, and you see what he is trying to do. He is trying to stack the ladders in such a way that he can increase the height and jump over. But he doesn't know that if he uses only one ladder in a vertical position, he can climb it up. Okay, so this is one of the ideas where he has a lot of sources, lot of methodologies, but he doesn't know which one to use. He doesn't know that if you put the what do you call that ladder in a vertical position, only one ladder will suffice this, right? Multiple ladders are not at all needed. But he's using all those methodologies, all those ladders to climb over, and he's not able to succeed also. So this is the real threat. So lack of fundamental understanding of why to use a particular technique and when to use a particular technique. You have a lot of techniques, but when to use and why to use, that is of utmost importance. How to use it correctly? Like, of course, maybe in every data set there are rows and columns. So if you want specific row and specific column, but you have interchanged them. Suppose you want 50th row of the data set. Okay, so I will tell, for an example, you can visualize this classroom as a matrix or a data set. Okay, how? Like, you can see the first guy over sitting there is the 1, 1 position, and that is like the first column and the first row. So if I will tell 20, 23, okay, so 20th row. So how many rows are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. So I will tell 3, 5. So third row and fifth element. So third row and fifth element is her. Okay. So you can see that if I tell by mistake 5, 3, then it totally changes the position. If it is 5, 3, what does it mean? 3, 4, 5, then that guy over there. Okay. So you can see how it suddenly changed the location. So you have to be very careful in your notations. Okay. Which one is the row? Which one is the column you want? And of course, after you do, suppose you did the data analysis successfully, you used your data set and you used correct methodology to analyze the data set, fine. But after you analyzed, you got some results. You should know how to interpret those results. If you don't know how to interpret those results, then it is in vain. Okay, so you should know how to interpret those results. We'll see what I mean by that. So this is the objective also. What is data? Why data is important to us? Define data analytics. Why is it important? How statistics, data analytics, and data science are interrelated. Explain 4 different levels of data. Nominal. So this I call it as NOIR. Okay. Nominal, ordinal, interval, ratio. Okay. So these are different types of different levels of data. So we'll explain each of them. This is the objective of today's class. Okay, we'll take each of them and we will explain what we mean by nominal data, what we mean by ordinal data, what we mean by interval data, and what is ratio data also. Okay, we'll give some real world examples for each of them. So what is a data? Like, before that, what is a data? You have to understand what is a variable and what do you mean by measurements. Okay. So what is a variable? You can see, like, in this slides, there will be a lot written in this slides. Okay. Usually slides should not be like that. Okay. Usually slides should not contain lot of information. Okay. But this I made it for you guys because I know that it is very difficult for you to read books nowadays. Okay, so this is just an example, just that you just see the slides and read it. Okay, whenever you watch this lecture also, it will be there. It will be there, so you can read it. So what I have done is I have taken some most important points which I felt you guys should know, and that's what I have written it down here. So you will see the slides full of paragraphs sometimes. Okay, but it's not meant as a slide, but rather as a note. Okay. Anyway, so what is a variable? It is a characteristic of any entity being studied that is capable of taking different values. So variable can take different values. That's the story. Okay, variable. That means it can vary. The value of a variable can vary. Okay. So suppose x is a variable and it can take any values like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20, 100,000, something like that. What are measurements? So when you apply a standard process to assign numbers to a particular attribute of a variable, that is known as a measurement. Like weight is a variable. Weight, does it stay constant? No. If you have exercised a lot recently, your weight would have decreased, right? And if you had gone to some a friend's party and all, you would have eaten a lot of good food, and your weight will increase, right? So weight is a variable; it changes. Okay, so you assign a value to the weight. So weight is a variable. Okay. Fine. So what is a data? Data are recorded measurements. So when you measure your weight every day throughout the month, so you know that this day of the month I have this weight, okay, and you record it. So the measurement you do, the recorded measurement of weights you do, that is a data. The data sets of your weight of this month. Okay, fine. So what is a data? Data is like recorded measurements. Okay. So first of all, why we need to worry about data? That's the key question. Why we need to worry about data? So because everywhere you go, data is there. Everywhere you go, data is there. It's just that how you visualize this. Okay. For example, in this class, it is full of data. Full of data. How? Because each student has come from a specific location of this from this country, right? And each one of you has a different background. Okay. So if I visualize this, this classroom is a source of knowledge. This classroom is a huge source of knowledge comprising of around 100 young brains. Okay, 100 young brains, which is capable of more than 30, 40 laptops. Okay, the brain, I mean. Okay. So you are generating data. How you are generating data? Any example? I can generate data like if you see it can record you maybe and it can predict how many of you are actually attentive in class. Okay, how many of you are actually attentive in class, and from that attentive students how many are boys and how many are girls. Okay, and depending on the number of boys and girls also you can further classify it as suppose like how many of them are between age 20 to 30 or 20 to 25, right? And how many of them are less than 20? I don't think so. Anyway, so that's the idea. That's the idea. So data, why we need to worry about data, and who is generating so much amount of data? Any ideas before we go into this? I want it to be a two-way. It should not be only one way. Okay. So who is generating too much amount of data? So suppose you go to a mall. I will give an example. Suppose you go to a mall. So the mall, like any mall you go, every small mall you go, now they have a digital system where they scan the items and make a purchase. Why they do that? I mean, they could just take it and run a calculator for you and calculate and give it to you. Why they scan it? Because they know, because they know that whatever item they have purchased, they have put it in the shops. They have put it into the shops. Okay. So, and those items cannot leave their shop for free, else it is their loss, right? So if an item leaves their shop, it has to be scanned. They should know that this item has left the shop, right? So therefore they need to scan it. Fine. And yes, so by scanning it also they have another advantage. Can any one of you predict it? Yes, that's very nice. So which product is actually selling the most? Okay, so depending also you can be precise that which month, in which month which product is being sold the most. If it is like winter month, here I not much, but if you see winter, it's cold, then you see that the instant soup packets will sell more, okay, or popcorns will sell more because these are the items people prefer during winter. Yes, so you will see a spike. So the shopkeeper knows that, and he will purchase more of those quantity in the shop, so that lot of sales happen. Okay, so through this he is generating amount of data. So whenever a customer comes, he is generating a data. Okay, so a shopkeeper is generating data. So therefore you can see why we have written humans here. Humans generate data. Machines also generate data. Can you give example how machines generate data? Example, what they do? Yeah, your heartbeat. Okay. How much amount of like what else it can respiration rate maybe. All these things it can predict for you. How many steps you have walked. Okay, all these things it can predict. And moreover, you can see your laptop. You can see your laptop, like throughout the day, whatever you have done, you can actually see. Okay, what I do myself is like I predict my efficiency in my work as follows. Like I go to my browsing history every Sunday. Okay, I do that. Every Sunday I check my whole browsing history from Monday to Saturday, and I try to see which time of the day what I did. Okay, how much YouTube I have seen throughout the day. Okay, so these kind of things, and how much collab files I have opened throughout the day, or which of the educational sites I have visited, and which time my brain said to me that you see something else apart from study or work. Okay, so I try to minimize that part and improve my efficiency. So machines are also generating data. Anyway, human machine combined. Any example? I think IoT is a good example there. So you can see IoT is a good example. So Internet of Things. So how IoT devices can help you generate data. It is a collaboration between both human and a machine. Okay. Fine. It can be generated anywhere where any information is generated and stored in a structured or unstructured formats. Fine. So data can be in structured formats or unstructured formats. Okay. So can you give me an example where data is being stored as structured format? The mall. Good example is the mall. Yes, in the malls, everything is in a structured way. Okay. Unstructured formats, any ideas? Local shops, for example. Yeah, where they don't have that machine. Yes, they try to manually write it. They try to manually write it. How data add value to business? Already we have discussed this, an example from the shopkeeper, right? How it adds value to the business, because he knows which product sells more, right? And it adds value to the business. You will learn about data warehouse in this course. What is a data warehouse? What is a warehouse? Hmm? Data is stored. Okay. That's a warehouse. That's a warehouse. Okay. So more about it will create a suspense. Okay. We'll see after 1 month approximately. We'll come to know what is a data warehouse. Okay. So these are the things which normally not many courses teach about. So many courses in data analytics teach you most about statistics or analytics, like for example correlation coefficient or standardizations, those kind of things, hypothesis, um, uh, chi-square test, those things, mostly rigorous statistics. But this course will mostly focus towards a kind of an industry oriented data analytics. Okay, where you see what is data warehouse, what IBM is using. Every workplace they use data analytics for their purpose. So what kind of data warehouse IBM is using? So we will see that in this course. Okay, not too much in detail, but just a theory. What kind of workforce it is using, and what kind of the flow chart of a data warehouse is. So data warehouse is not that simple. It has a lot of small chunks. Those are interconnected, but that's how they make the data flow. Okay, fine. So data warehouse, you can see it is useful for development of data product, algorithm solution, product sales, and also data insights. So these are the key words I suggest that you keep in mind. Okay, from a data, what insights you can make? That is known as the data insights. And if you make visualization on those insights, it is known as data visualization. So therefore, this course name is data analytics and visualization. Okay, so data analytics is not important. After doing data analytics, you have to visualize the data also. Okay, you have to tell story about the data. So imagine what you do. You actually visualize data every time of the day when you talk to your friends. So I would say, like, suppose some of you went to for a holiday, okay, with a group of friends, like last week, suppose. Then this week you come and you discuss with some of the friends who have not gone with you. And what you do, you tell that we went there at around 3 a.m. We went there at around 3 p.m. We did that bungee jumping, those kind of things, right? So these are the data you are telling to someone who was not there. Okay, so these are the examples that how you visualize the data. Okay. So you already have data stored in your mind, you tell it to someone else. You story tell that. You are doing data storytelling. Okay. So in data visualization, after data visualization, one thing is most important is data storytelling. If you just generate a very nice looking heat map plot, and you if someone asks that what do you mean about this heat map plot, if you cannot tell, then there is no use. Okay, you have to tell that yes, in this heat map this yellow color means higher sales value, this blue color in the heat map means lower sales value. Okay, the gray region means it is neutral, neither profit nor loss. Okay, so that kind of data storytelling you have to tell after you visualize. So there are a lot of steps you have to do, and we will go through each of them in each class. That's the idea. Fine. So why data is important? Of course, it helps you make better decisions whether the shopkeeper should buy like another bulk of chocolates or another bulk of soup packets. Okay, which one will be profitable to him? Of course, if he buys soup packets in winter, it is of course much more profitable than buying chocolates. Fine. So it helps in problem solving by finding the reason for underperformance. Like if you know, like for example, um, what example can I give? Any example you remember for the second case? I want you to think also. Any example you think for the second case? Okay, I will tell you my personal experience. Okay, I don't want to point any specific company and all those things. Okay. So what I will tell is my personal experience. Around maybe 10th class, which is very important for many of you, right? 10th class, like it's a board syllabus, right? It's one of the major things in your life, in your educational background. So during that time it was winter. Okay, and during winter I was at home, and every time when it is around 4 5 p.m. I sleep. Okay, I sleep and I wake up around 9 p.m., have dinner, sleep. That was my routine. That was my routine for around 2 to 3 months for those winter. But the bad, it's a good thing. Sleeping and is a good thing. But as a person, like it was very bad because during the winter, those time exams are there, school exams. Okay, most importantly, your board mid semester exams are there, and very important ones. So during that time also, it did not matter me, and I still slept. Okay, so. And I did not score good marks. I did not score good marks, and everyone was worried. Okay, that this guy is just sleeping, playing. I go to play. I usually play around 4 5 p.m. and I come home, sleep, 9 p.m., eat dinner, sleep. Okay, that's the format I was following throughout for 2 to 3 months, and I did not get good marks. Biology almost passed. Okay, did not even did anything properly. So then I was very sad because I prepared, but somehow my there is a comfort zone. As a child, I was not, as a person, I was not able to tell the difference between hard work and comfort zone. So I was feeling that comfort zone is more relaxing. So I was going towards the comfort zone, and after the exam I really felt bad, and I looked what I did, why my exam went poor. Then I saw the pattern that yes, I was definitely sleeping throughout the months. Okay, when father mother will come, I wake up. Then after they go, I sleep. So this is the trouble part. But after finding that scenario, I tried to improve myself, that yes, I should not sleep. Okay, I carried one amrutanjan and did that. So you wake up. Okay, so these are some of the things, but I improved myself after those. My exams improved, my study habit improved. So that's an example, like why I did underperformance in my exams, and how I noticed that I slept during my sleep habits, how I can change my sleep habits so that my study habits can increase. Okay, my study hours can increase. Anyway, so how it helps to evaluate the performance, of course. It helps to improve the process. Of course, this example serves the purpose. Okay, data helps one to understand consumers and market. Of course, now you can understand. Okay, few examples I gave. Now you can monitor and relate those examples. Okay, fine. So define data analytics, why analytics is important, what is data analysis, what is the difference between data analytics and data analysis, what are different types of data analytics. Okay, fine. So data analytics, we won't go into much of the details, but this definition is something more important. So you can see here, analytics is defined as the scientific process. It's a scientific process, first step, of transforming the data into insights for making better decisions. Okay, so it's a scientific process, how you transform your data into insights. That's the idea. Okay, this is not that much clear, but the next slide will make you more clear. Okay, so you can read what James Evans has told. You can Google him. So why analytics is important? You can determine the credit risk. You can determine in making new medicines. One good example is COVID-19, where different sort of vaccines were created and no one knew which vaccines would work. Okay, so at that time only data can help you. So how data can help you? On a batch of people, those new vaccines were tested, right? And those who showed positive signs, that was being considered, right? Fine. Preventing frauds. Okay, preventing frauds. Can you give a good example? Now there are many mobile apps. When I get a unknown call, I just wait. I just don't wait, pick it up. I just wait, and I see after some time that the app has shown me that it's a spam, or the name is visible. Then it's a true source of like some of them is trying to contact me. If it is a spam, it is in red color, right? So therefore, from them, and how they know? How they know about it? Because many people have marked that call as a spam. So based on that analytics, it can tell you. And if you have many of you are using railways for your commute to home, to your hometown, right? So what you do, you open the app and it will tell you where the train is going to be in which platform. But that is not 100% accurate. That is not 100% accurate. Why? That platform number is mentioned to you based on the analytics, based on the data being provided by the travelers itself, right? So around 95% of travelers say it is platform 2, and 5% of the travelers say it is platform 1. So they believe around 95% of the candidates, but sometimes it makes wrong decisions also. That comes in the 5%. Okay, fine. So these are the things. So what is analysis? So analysis is the process of examining, transforming, and arranging raw data in a specific way to generate useful information from it. Fine. But till now, I see that the definition of data analytics and data analysis is kind of bit of a mix. Okay, you are not able to see the real difference. But fine, the next slide will be clearing it more. So you can see what is data analysis. So when you say data analysis, it is something about what has happened in the past. Okay, it is something that has happened in the past. So we explain why that has happened, how it has happened, and why it has happened. Okay, it is like just like a post-mortem analysis. Whereas analytics, if you come to analytics, it is about the future. Okay, it is about the future. So analytics is studying about what will happen in the future, and with the help of analytics, we can predict, explore more potential options. Okay, there are two kinds. So is it clear now to you what is analysis and what is analytics? Analysis is mostly about the past, whereas analytics is mostly about the future. One good example, if you want to see a real world example, one mall, okay, we can say always the mall example. Like last year, they did not make much of the profit, or last month, they did not make much of the profit. And their analysis tells that. Why? Their analysis tells. We don't say their analytics tells. Their analysis tells that the sales did not go quite well last month. Now, why the sales did not go as expected? So they analyze how many customers came in that month. Okay, is there a reduction in the number of customers? First criteria. Suppose no, the number of customers even increased. Then why even the number of customer increased? Why the sales went down? Because they took the products with less cost rather than believing in more cost, right? So they did not. Why they did not? Because maybe it is the rise in fuel price, rise in transportation cost. If there is a rise in transportation cost or rise in your other things like living cost, suppose rent and those things, then of course the purchase you make in the supermarket or mall will gradually decrease, isn't it? If you don't have anything to spend and you only have to spend in the mall, then you kind of bring 5,000, 6,000 amount of price products, right? When you see that you have spent in tablets, you have purchased a new laptop and those things. After that, what you purchase, 5 rupees chocolate is enough. We don't want that 50, 60 rupees chocolate, right? You decrease your budget, right? So that's how you make analysis on those data, right? Now, what is analytics? Now, the same example, the sales did not go well in the last month. Now, how I can increase my sales in the next month? How I can increase my sales in the next month? What I should do to increase my sales? That is analytics. Okay, based on the current factor, how you can predict that you increase the profit or increase the sales of your mall. That is analytics. Okay, that is mostly comes under predictive analytics. Okay, that means you are making a prediction that your shop will go to a profit, okay, rather than a loss. So there are two kinds of analytics. You can see qualitative and quantitative. Qualitative and quantitative. Qualitative mostly relies on intuition and analysis. Mostly on intuition. Okay. Oh, this might have happened. Okay, this can happen. I mean, it's like a stock market. It's like a stock market price. What you can do, you will say like, okay, I will put my price on this company because its stock is growing. That's like based on an intuition. It might be that in all the 6 months the stock is increasing, but when you apply it the next month the stock will decrease. But based on the intuition you do. Okay, fine. So mostly based on the intuition. Another is quantitative, where you make formulas and algorithms to predict that. Okay, will that happen or not? That will give you a probability. I mean, it is like something like you tried to put money on some company, new company, startup, and it is blooming. It is blooming right now. But your intuition says that you apply money there. But your algorithm, if you write an algorithm which can say that yes, you put money with a probability that you will get profit of around 70%. You will get money back like with good return around is 70% chances. So you of course will apply because there is still 30% of you being in loss. Okay, but 70% chances are there that you can make profit. I hope you are getting the idea what I'm trying to tell, right? So these are the algorithms you make. So these algorithms mostly are related to machine learning algorithms. Okay, like how you can use regression. One of the good example is how you can use multi-layer perceptron, for example, for regression purpose. Okay, for regression means you can straightforwardly apply this least square regression, right? Least square regression. But how, if you have a large set of data and all those things, you have to use some machine learning techniques. And one such technique is MLP, multi-layer perceptron for regression purpose. So how you can use multi-layer perceptron to make further predictions, right? That's the idea. Same way, in analysis also you have the qualitative and quantitative scenarios. Okay, explain how and why the story ends the way it did. The loss happened, market loss has happened. Why the market loss has happened? Which factors contributed to the market loss? Okay, and why it reached to a market loss instead of a market profit. And also quantitative, where you see how the sale decreased the last summer, okay, with the proper amount of data. So you can clearly see that data analysis is not exactly equal to analytics. I hope it is clear to you now, like what is the difference between data analysis and data analytics. So this is something very much important. These can be like some of the interview questions. Okay, how they can ask you, like this is some example, they might give you real world example and they might ask you like what should you perform? Should you perform data analysis or data analytics? If you say data analysis, okay, fine. Now tell me the difference between data analysis and data analytics, right? So what are the different types of data analytics? What are the different types of data analytics? You can see here, based on the phase of workflow and the kind of analysis required, these are the four major types. And according to the difficulty and value also. You can see the most easiest one in terms of difficulty is descriptive analytics. Okay, descriptive analytics. What happened? What happened? Okay, what happened in that particular scenario you are considering? Diagnostic analytics. Why did it happen? Why did it happen? Why the scenario happened in the first place? Predictive analytics. What will happen? Okay, what will happen? Can I make it more profitable? What I need to do to make it more profitable? Prescriptive analytics. How? We have an aim that we want to make a profit in our mall, and okay, how can we make it happen? Okay, what steps we need to follow to make it happen? That is like prescriptive analytics. Hmm? So mostly in this semester you will be learning about data analytics and visualization, the most basic part of data analytics. Okay, the first step for any data analytics course. The next semester you will be learning about predictive analytics, where you apply different algorithms, you learn about different algorithms and maybe a few machine learning techniques to make predictions. Okay, to make predictions like how I can make it happen. Okay, what kind of algorithm can I predict that we will go either in loss or in profit? Okay, so I hope now you know till this slide what is data analysis. Well, first of all, you what we have studied so far. We'll take a 1 minute recap. Okay, we will take 1 minute recap. So, what we have we studied so far? We understood what is data. Data are like recorded measurements. Okay, then who is generating? Why we need to study data analytics? Because there is a lot of data everywhere, and based on the data only we can predict what is going to happen and why it happened the way it happened in the past, right? So that motivated us to differentiate between data analysis and data analytics. Okay, data analysis is something in the past. It's like a post-mortem analysis. You study why that happened, what are the reasons that happened in the past. Okay, what factors contributed to the scenario to happen. But in analytics you say, okay, how we can convert that loss into profit, what steps we need to do, how we can predict that profit will only happen. That's like predictive analytics you try to do. And we also studied like there are four types of data analytics. Okay, what are the four types? Yes, you can just see from here. Like most important one you will study in this course is about predictive. Okay, most important one you will study in this course is about predictive analytics next semester. Fine. Now, okay, now everyone would have seen, many of you have already taken your BSc course in data analytics. Now the question is like, why? Why? I mean, why you thought that you should take data analytics in your bachelor's? That's the first question. I mean, because it is trending, isn't it? I think one of the basic fact now, like machine learning, LLMs, Chat GPT, there are so many things going on in the market right now, and it is very hot right now. Those areas are very hot. So in those areas, the one who tries to snatch it wins. So that with that mindset, you have seen that data analytics is kind of trending, and therefore I should take data analytics, right? Data analytics degree in data analytics. But who told you? Based on which belief you thought that data analytics is trending? Just by the voice of around 5-10 people, or did you follow any particular aspect to understand why data analytics is trending? Anyone? How many of you heard from different people that data analytics is trending? Or not people, I would give respect, that experts. Let me tell experts. How many of you have discussed with experts before doing a degree and thought that yes, I should do a degree in data analytics? Yeah. Uh-huh. You can raise. I want to see. Only one. Only one. Am I missing anyone? Two. No. Okay. Okay, fine. Now another case is, how many of you used like some websites or some data. Based on the data, you saw that yes, data analytics is indeed trending. Oh, how you decided? Example. Mm-mm. Yeah. So this is one such examples where you have in mind. Now, how you can tell by data analytics, by using data analytics, that data analytics is trending. That is the question. How you can use data analytics to tell that the field of data analytics is trending. Huh? 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 No, no, no. I want proof. That is not a proof. I want proof. I want a proof that data analytics is trending, and I want to use data analytics to show that data analytics is trending. But see, you are missing it. What I'm trying to tell is you are telling me the reason why data analytics is trending. But what I am asking you is, can you prove it using data that data analytics is trending? But you're just saying that data is increasing in data analytics, therefore data is trending. But that is not a proof. That is a saying. How someone can believe that? Huh? Huh? Yeah. Huh. Okay. Okay. Well, what I meant is something in the next slide. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, you are very near. Very near. Yes. Very near. So next slide will reveal what do I mean, like data analytics is trending. Huh? See. Okay, so this is why I felt that data analytics is trending. Okay, I use data analytics to show that data analytics is trending. Okay, so you can see I used something known as Google Trends. You can still use Google Trends, okay, and see which branch is actually trending. This I did in 2023, actually, to be honest. I did not do it in 2025. Okay, maybe it is your job now to see which one is actually trending in 2025. Okay, what it tells us, I just used two terms. I used search term as data analytics, and I used another search term as statistician. And I told worldwide search, and I told that you should do the data search from 2004 till 2023, and you use all categories and you do web search. All these scenarios I have mentioned to Google Trends, and I got this graph. I will zoom it for you. You can instead download this. You can instead download this as a PDF also and share it with other people also. Maybe you can get a code for this also here. Okay. So what it tells us, you can see uh, maybe the blue one is data analytics, the red one is statistician. Let us see what it tells here. So you can see from January, the red one was what? Okay, the red one was statistician, yes. In January 2004, the statistician, okay, was on the top, and the data analytics was at the bottom. In the blue plot, you can see. As time increased around 2010, they competed fiercely, And after that, the scenario changed. It is vice versa. That is, data analytics has risen top of the statistician case. Okay, it is all from data sets. It is data speaking. It is not a theorem or proof. It is data which is speaking here. And you can see from 2010 onwards that separation between them continuously is rising. You see the separation has increased higher and higher. This is 2023. You can imagine this is 2023 here. Okay. So I hope you can get a feel of why data analytics is much more trending now. So what I showed here, I used the data and I used visualization, data visualization. This is the plot. We are visualizing the data. Inside of this, there are so much amount of data, millions of data, billions of data sets, right? We are using those to create a line plot. This is a line plot, and so nicely I'm doing the storytelling to you. I'm doing the storytelling that, see, the blue curve, mark all the blue with what data analytics, mark all the red with statisticians. And let us mark the trend over the period from 2004 to 2023. And what I see is till 2010, the statistician was overpowering the data analytics people, the research community, and after that, the data analytics overpowered the statistician one. Okay. So this is not disrespect to any statisticians over here. Okay, I'm just telling that how statisticians concepts data analytics people are using through computation and coding to achieve and tell more about data. That's the idea. Fine. So what is the demand for data analytics? I suggest you guys to do this. Okay. Try to search for some demands. What are the demands of data analytics in 2025? Okay. What kind of demand everyone is looking for? Fine. So fine. Is that a good idea? Okay. Any issues?